guys, it's Mandy here. So I'm feeling a lot better today than I was before, so thank you to everyone who was showing some support for me. I much appreciated it. I just occasionally get these dips where I just feel completely numb. So thank you to everyone who gave me some support in that regard. I'm currently working on a new art video that's going to come out in a minute, but I wanted to release this video just because I woke up this morning and I had a whole bunch of questions suddenly flooding into my brain, and I just had to sort of get on the computer, write them down, and now I'm just going to sort of spew them. I'm not actually going to give my personal opinion on the answers to these questions, but they're just questions that have come into my head, so I'm going to leave it to you guys to sort of think about the questions. A lot of them are quite political, just a word of warning. At the end, they sort of tail off into randomness and sort of irrelevant stuff. There's not really any sort of specific topic at hand, but at the beginning, it comes across as being very political and about Hollywood. So, but yeah, like I said, it sort of tailors off into sort of randomness and nothing specifically, really. So, God, my voice sounds a bit croaky today. Don't know now. Anyway, so I'm just gonna begin and see what you think. So, question 1: are businesses like Amazon in cahoots with Hollywood, which we know is being run by the Jewish mob to try to distract us from the truth of what they are actually doing? Question number 2: are we being fooled by Hollywood into thinking the truth is just fictional garbage that we should just laugh off and ignore because it's just fiction? Are they hiding the truth in plain sight? Are businesses like Amazon and Wish secretly shipping drugs and people and using its business model of being an innocent shipping company for regular products as a ploy to fund it? Are they really just laundering money through the medium of film? Are they also using the medium of fictional storytelling to control a narrative in order to control us? Look over here, talk about this, do that, but ignore all this other stuff that we're doing over there. We know they like to control the narrative and to keep us in a state of fear through conditioning via what we watch and listen to and who we look up to as authorities. So could this be all interlinked? Do they see themselves as the villains of these stories? And are they afraid we will catch on to their evil intentions? Therefore, is all this nonsense about rewriting evil characters as sympathetic characters a way to de-villainize themselves in our eyes, even though it's just highlighting the evil intentions instead? Are incidences like the Will Smith slap acts of initiations that these people have to perform to be permitted into some cult that only they know about? Are the police all bought and paid for by the government not to protect the people, but to observe and control the people from within as and when is required? Do you know they omitted the rule from the Magna Carta that states that those who enforce the law must know the law? Were people who work in the police actually hired not to know the law that they were supposed to enforce, but because they would happily take orders without question just to back up a government for a paycheck? Why do we ask to be paid amounts that we know we will be taxed to hell on? Why not just calculate what we would actually be taking home after tax and ask to be paid that instead? If we know that getting into debt is a bad thing, why then are we allowing ourselves to be conditioned to think that getting into a lifelong debt, a mortgage, for what we legally have a right to have, shelter, is and should be the norm? Do you know what a mortgage actually is and what the word actually means? Do you know what usury is and why it's illegal? Do you see and understand the correlation between usury and a mortgage? Do you know that the banknotes that you pay with are just receipts and not actually worth anything? You might as well be using Monopoly money for all it's actually worth. Do you know that if you want to make the rich poor, all you would have to do is stop using the currency they give you, and that's why they don't want you to create your own currency. Should we be teaching our children to barter instead of paying with money? Why do schools, colleges, and universities not vet their teachers about their political beliefs? Why do parents not demand references from the people they put in charge of educating their children? Why are we being made to bicker over who we want to be Prime Minister or President, when deep down we know it's irrelevant because the people in office don't actually have power to do anything? That's why they are so easily replaceable. Why should we be fighting over a leader who we know will be replaced in 4 to 8 years' time, and probably for someone who we think are stupider and less reliable, yet more malleable than the last one? Could it be true that they just let women have the vote because they realized they could tax us too? Are we conditioned to think conspiracy theories are ridiculous and laughable nonsense just to stop us asking more questions? Why do we need approval from the Vatican to perform an exorcism when it's all about belief and faith, not about power? Was the church infiltrated with pedophiles to destroy it from within, the same way schools are now being infiltrated by political agenda members to brainwash kids into having sex changes? Why are black kids being conditioned to only think about and focus on the slavery of their ancestors instead of just enjoying the life they have now? Why is it so easy to get married yet so hard to get divorced? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Should we all have prenuptial agreements to make sure of gold diggers and making a divorce easier? Are films like V for Vendetta, The Matrix, They Live trying to tell us something we should be aware of, but we're ignoring it because it's just fiction? Is Hollywood distracting the indie filmmakers with false promises of success via film festivals so they can monopolize the major cinemas? Why do cinema chains not want indie filmmakers to be part of their businesses by making it so expensive we can't afford to display our films when we could really be making them a lot of money? Why are people so afraid to acknowledge the truth when it's presented to them? Why is a life sentence not a life sentence? If businesses want us to buy their products, why do they make their adverts so obnoxious and invasive that all we want to do is smash our TVs and computer screens? If Dolly the sheep had been cloned successfully, shouldn't we be skeptical that clones of people, quite possibly politicians, are being made? What would a completely word-for-word accurate adaptation of the Phantom of the Opera be like? Yeah, so those are some questions that I had in my head this morning, just sort of like thinking about stuff. I don't know, sometimes I wake up with thoughts in my head and I just feel like I need to. Anyway, so that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it makes you question things. I hope you think about these things. Don't get into heated arguments over things. Just ask yourself, what are the answers to these, and are these theories possible? Is there truth behind the question? Are the conspiracy theories true? Maybe we should consider that. So that's my video. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye.